Hello and welcome to another insightful LinkedIn live session from Fourth Partner Energy. I'm your host Pallavi Saxena from Marketing and Communications team, and I have a very special guest from a very important department at Fourth Partner Energy. Well, I have Mr. Abhay Bhavsar. He heads ESG initiatives at Fourth Partner Energy, who joins us this evening to answer all your questions on ESG. Hi, Abhay.
Hello, Pallavi. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a very pleasant day.
So before I jump into the actual conversation, let me just take a minute of yours to set the context for this session. So we know, right, that an ESG strategy is an organization-wide approach that adjusts a company's environmental, social, and governance practices to increase business sustainability. Now, more than ever, the success and growth of a business are directly tied to a solid ESG strategy for any organization, which also involves conducting business in a way that provides long-term value without providing any negative effect on the environment, society, or basically minimize the effect at least, right? So without saying much and talking much about ESG, because we of course have an expert here, I will just bounce my first question to Abhay. So Abhay, my first question for you is, what does ESG means at Fourth Partner Energy? In a sense, can you just speak into when it started becoming so core to our operations here?
Sure, Pallavi. So let us first understand what is it that drives interest in ESG more and more within the business community at large and what works. There is a growing realization amongst the consumers that not everything that an organization does actually creates sustainable value or an impact over a period of time. That means if the businesses are not run financially, socially, and environmentally in a sustainable manner, they realize that they won't be in business for long. Even from the perspective of valuation, to understand the complete picture of the value of a company in terms of risk and opportunities, the scope of such due diligence by the lenders now largely include the E, S, and G metrics also. Therefore, ESG at Fourth Partner is like our compass for responsible business. It is more than just an acronym for us. It's a commitment towards
Yeah.
environmental stewardship, towards social responsibility, and good governance. All that reflects our dedication to growing the business with responsible practices. It started becoming central to our operations as we realized that our actions, our power to make a positive change and create sustainable value echo
Yeah.
far beyond our projects, touching the environment and communities at large. So you see now ESG has become the heart and soul of our commitment to a better world.
Absolutely. Okay. Interesting. The second question is, right, that Abhay, that it's very easy for a company like, or say any renewable energy company like Fourth Partner Energy, right, to be laid back on ESG initiatives because our direct environmental impact, we are directly creating environmental impact, right? I mean, every project we construct, every megawatt of solar or wind power that our assets generate can directly be measured for carbon emissions, reduced water conservation, tree planted, etc. But as a company, right, as a company, Fourth Partner Energy never takes it for granted. And in fact, we double up our efforts to measure and reduce our own adverse environmental impact. So how do we do it? How do we bring precisely E to the ESG?
Good question, Pallavi. Absolutely. I mean, while it is tempting to rest on our measurable environmental impact, at Fourth Partner, we also view it as an opportunity to excel, to show the world how good we are as stewards of the environment as well as the investors' capital. So just because we produce clean energy doesn't necessarily mean that we are shielded from any of the ESG risks. For example, our open access solar and wind parks can have impact on protected areas or natural habitat, the overall biodiversity due to land conversion, because we are acquiring land and planting something else on it. There might be displacement of formal and informal land users, usage of water, especially during maintenance activities, and I can go on. A
Yeah.
high percentage of renewable energy companies' sustainability issues and opportunities also lie in their supply chain operations. So, to bring the E into ESG, we are diving into initiatives like carrying out a environmental and social impact assessment of all such projects,
Hmm.
taking measures towards improving energy efficiency,
Yeah.
ensuring optimal resource utilization. So we not only measure, but also strive to minimize our ecological footprint. So think of it as, adding an eco-conscious layer to everything that we do. So therefore, all decisions, whether related to land, construction, hiring, developing supply chain, managing waste, these are all guided by some ESG consideration or the other. And all these considerations are aligned with our ESG vision set by our founders. That is to develop our business in an ethical way with
Yeah.
minimum impact on the environment and the society at large. I hope I have answered your question there.
Definitely. I like the thing which you said, that eco consciousness for the every angle of the business, right? Very well said. So with this, moving on to my next question, like we see, right, that many smaller firms, especially when it comes to our country, right, India, they really do not understand how and where to make start and prioritize their ESG goals. Now, just take a leaf out of our book, Abhay, and let me know that how did your team go about setting the priority matrix for ESG at Fourth Partner Energy?
Yeah. You need to understand, Pallavi, that ESG agenda, anywhere for that matter, does not happen on its own or
Yeah.
could be achieved something overnight, nor should it be delegated to a single person or a department, because it has to finally make way through all the functions and departments of the organization. So
Hmm.
for me, it goes through a journey from being something which is ad hoc to a stage which I call it as a functional stage, then to a strategic stage where ESG considerations are embedded into the strategy of every function, and finally reaching the cultural stage where it becomes a part of your work culture. So ad hoc to functional to strategic to cultural. So when we started this journey at 4PL, it was important to make everyone understand what ESG is. So we conducted a lot of awareness sessions, compiled data on companies' current practices, studied them, and went through a step-by-step process. See, firstly, we carried out a stakeholder identification exercise to
Hmm.
understand who are the important stakeholders of fourth partners,
Yeah.
dividing them into external and internal, followed up with an one-to-one engagement exercise. So this was an important step to help us proactively consider the ESG needs and desires of anyone who has stake in FPL.
Yeah.
Secondly, we did a mapping exercise to identify the likely E&S impacts of a typical solar plant
Hmm.
and categorize them into temporary, short-term, and long-term impacts. Lastly, the most important activity was to carry out a materiality assessment exercise, as it is called in ESG sphere, to identify the ESG issues which are most impactful to company's success and our stakeholders. These issues were then synthesized together to arrive at a list of topics that were ranked on the basis of importance to stakeholders and the impact to the business.
Yeah.
The ranking was done on the scale of, say, low, medium, and high. So that is how we arrived at the priority matrix, as you have asked. You'll find the information on all this assessment in the form of a materiality map in
Yeah.
our sustainability reports, which are available on our 4PL
Yes.
website under the sustainability tab.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, the next question is quite like a follow-up. So as a company grows, right, how these goals are, moved, or how do they grow?
Yeah, so we are expanding. So, and as both partner energy expands, our ESG journey is also becoming even more dynamic.
Yeah,
I consider that we have already reached a strategic stage, and it is just matter of time when it goes into the cultural stage. With wind element coming in, the horizon is also now widened. We are now exploring previously unexplored grounds and also embracing more stakeholders in our quest for sustainable development.
yeah,
As I had mentioned before, we had carried out a materiality assessment exercise a couple of years back when
mm,
we were solely into solar projects. Now that we have forayed into wind, we are once again carrying out that stakeholder mapping and materiality exercise. We have also recently carried out an enterprise level risk management exercise to identify all kinds of risk, including business integrity risk across
yeah,
all verticals of both partner, and have also identified measures to mitigate them. So you see, the goalpost will eventually shift from
yeah.
merely ensuring compliances and managing risk to creating larger positive impacts. So it's all about evolving while staying rooted to our commitment to ESG excellence.
Got it. We spoke, about ES, and I think now it's a time to just throw a little spotlight on a good governance. So, what do you think that 4PL's strengths and areas of improvement as far as governance is concerned? And also, how do you differentiate, governance at an organization or say at a project level or say at an individual employee level?
Interesting question, Lars, but I'll take the first as first. So some of the good governance practices that I can list from ESG's perspective right now are compliances on project. We are bang on with that. Our land acquisition process, which is a very detailed and in-depth one, right from selection of land aggregators to identification of the land, keeping the E&S risk inside, providing fair value to our landowners through a willing buyer, willing seller process. Uh, from the perspective of DEI or diversity, equity, and
Yeah,
inclusion, our gender diversity has been steadily increasing. All the employees are part of an equity incentive plan, and they're all truly partners in the business. Our gender pay gap has also been consistently above 93-95%. uh, Another quick win in governance has been our transparent
yeah,
disclosure and reporting, which is a very important part of ESG. Our sustainability reports, which follow the global reporting initiative standards, they are now published on our website every year for the world to see. Most importantly, we also have a ESG review committee at the board level. This
yeah,
extra S in ESG stands for safety. This committee has an oversight over all our ESG and safety activities.
yeah,
At project level, I believe good governance stems from the clarity of roles and responsibilities and the relationship between people who are associated with that project. Of course, apart from having good process in place, which we already have in the form of a very comprehensive environment and social management system, or ESMS to be in short. So this ESMS has key reference to the E&S risk related activities during various stages of the project, right from planning, commissioning, mobilization, construction, operation, right reaching to the decommissioning stage, though we haven't reached that stage yet, but we already
yeah,
have those processes and responsibilities in place. Each activity is identified based on whether it involves an administrative procedure, an inspection process, or it's just a mere compliance. These activities are then mapped to a checklist or a template, and responsibilities are accordingly assigned at project level for implementation, documentation, review, and the like. Uh, at an individual level, I think it's about every team member aligning with values of 4PL, adhering to all our policies, and
yeah,
fostering an environment of honesty and integrity. Coming to the areas of improvement, I feel there is still some scope to tie our compensation structure to ESG KPIs in every function. This can doubly ensure that companies truly integrating ESG issues into their risk management and overall long-term plan. Uh, Another area which we can improve, I personally think, is in the way we evaluate risks relating to acquiring assets or partnering with other RE companies or even venturing into new geographies, both national and international,
Yeah.
where I feel that this evaluation can look, further beyond regulatory or credit default, getting into more into business integrity aspects and related issues. That's all I can think as of now at this moment.
Fantastic, I think. The time has come to wrap this session. You all just heard from Abhay why ESG plays a very important role in any business. And if I have to say this, then no company can prosper nowadays if it is not involved in the community and the people around it, right? So it's very clear that companies need to take an active role in the community beyond just making a profit. The positive benefits of this strategy includes the company's expansion and, of course, the durability of its success. So before signing off, any final comments to our viewers away from your side?
Uh, you see, viewers, the overall idea of fourth matter is that this rest race to getting into net zero economy should be just for the environment and the society.
Sure.
That's it.
Great. So Abhay, thank you so much for taking out time to interact with me to discuss ESG at Fourth Partner Energy in detail. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching this ESG special episode at LinkedIn Live. Do not forget to comment, like, and follow our page before you go. See you soon with another exciting session at Fourth Partner Energy's timeline. Thank you. Wish you all a very good evening. Thank you, Abhay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Thank you, viewers. Thank you.